In prison, we didn't have iron plates. We didn't have dumbbells. We didn't have chest machines or those nice little cable crossover apparatuses, but somehow we were still able to get results and build our chest. And the reason is simple. We learned how to make basic exercises work. We learned how to make push-ups harder. We learned how to use bags, sheets, and even other people's weight. We even learned how to take a simple chest workout and turn it into a full-blown survival session. So today I'm going to break down the 3 ways that we built chest in prison. And by the end of this video, you're not just going to understand how it is that we train chest in prison, but you're going to have a blueprint for how you can train it also at home without any bench or any type of real equipment. Because the truth is, if guys can build their chests in a prison cell, you can definitely do it at home. Push-up variations. The first way we built chest in prison was with the push-up variations. Now, everybody knows the basic push-up, but in prison, the basic push-up wasn't just some warm-up exercise. It was the foundation. The standard push-up taught control, endurance, strength, and discipline. You could do it anywhere, in the cell, on the tier, in the day room, outside in the yard, wherever you had a little bit of floor space. And when all you have is your body weight, the first thing you learn is how to manipulate that body weight. That's where the variations come in. Standard push-ups and slight variations. Sexy? No. But this channel is about reality. And this is the bread and butter. We would do the standard push-ups with an assortment of different hand positions. We would do them with our hands out wide. We would do them with our hands shoulder width, with our hands narrow, with our hands staggered, with our hands elevated, with our feet elevated. We would do them as diamond push-ups, which puts more emphasis on the inner chest and the triceps. We would also do them explosively as plyometric push-ups. And we would even do them in a partial rep range. And we would also do them with weights. More on that shortly. All these slight variations of this one specific unsexy exercise allow you to hit different areas of the chest. From the upper chest to the lower chest, to the inner chest, to the outer chest, to the fast twitch muscle fibers, to the slow twitch muscle fibers. These variations are what really get the job done at your base level. Unilateral push-up variations. These are nasty. You are not just going up and down with these. You're going and you're twisting your body, you're shifting your weight, and you're forcing one side of your body to take more of the load with these, which means more tension, more control, more core, and more work on each side of the chest. This is where push-ups stop being basic and start taking you to the next level. Think one-arm push-ups, corkscrew push-ups, side-to-side push-ups, which you can also do with your feet elevated, and archer push-ups. All of these allow you to put more load on a single side of your chest at a time and even out those imbalances. When you don't have access to the heavier weights, you figure out how to make things heavier. 2 arms equal more support. 1 arm equals less support. It's prison math, baby. Keep it simple. Mobility-based variations. These build chest, strength, shoulders, and mobility all at once. Think dive bombers, Hindu push-ups, and Mike Tyson's. These are brutal because they keep the body moving through a longer range of motion. More movement means more time under tension. More time under tension means more suffering. And more suffering, unfortunately, is usually where the gains are made. Dips. Yeah. I know. They're not a push-up variation. However, you cannot have a prison chest workout video without having the squat of the upper body. Now, the main tip that I have for you here is that depending on the angle of your upper body, you will put the emphasis on either your chest or your triceps. A more angled upper body means more chest. A more vertical upper body means more triceps. Other than that, they do not call it the squat of the upper body for nothing. The big lesson from all these variations. Push-ups are not just push-ups. You can make them easier, you can make them harder. You can shift the focus. You can add strength, You can add endurance. You can train both sides evenly. You can turn a basic movement into an entire chest program. So the first way we built chest in prison was by mastering push-up variations and making our body weight feel heavier. Weighted chest press variations. The second way we built our chest in prison was with weighted chest press variations. Now, when people think about chest training, they usually think about iron plates, dumbbells, bench presses, cable crossovers, and dumbbell flies. But in prison, we didn't have access to those kinds of things. We didn't have a bench press, so we had to create one. And that meant using whatever we had. Bags for weight. One method was using bags. We would use water bags, sand bags, book bags, gravel bags, whatever we had access to stick into these bags as both dumbbells and barbells we would use. I'll have a link on the screen to a video where I show you how to make the bags, and it's the best way that I had found over the years to make them. Now, was our use of the bags ideal? Absolutely not. These things, they wiggle, they jiggle, they're unstable, they move around, they shift around, they're going to be a little bit uneven in weight, but whatever. That instability and that little bit of unsteadiness was good because it forces more stabilization muscles to be recruited, more muscle fibers to be recruited, and it's what we had access to, so it's what we made happen. And the exercises that we used them for were dumbbell style presses, flies, floor presses, alternating dumbbell style presses, and stick bench presses. Basically, your basic free weight style iron chest exercises. However, with the prison twist that our weights were a little bit wiggly and relatively submaximal. Human weight. Now this one may seem a little bit wild, but in prison, we had to find load in whatever means was necessary. And using other people as weight was a necessary means to do that. We would use mop sticks or broomsticks and do bench presses with the other people's feet either up on our legs, or we would do them with their legs dropped down to the sides, which adds a whole lot of weight to this exercise. We would also do push-ups with people on our back with either our hands flat off the floor, or we would do them with our hands elevated on something. Basically, if you have a human lump of meat that has some good weight to it, you use it in whatever means possible. It made sense to us. Again, you get an added benefit with this because it's never a smooth ride. It's never going to be a smooth, easy weight. There's always going to be some wiggle and jiggle, and the movement is always going to be slightly shifting. So your stabilizer muscles are always going to be firing, along with you're going to be having to recruit a whole lot of extra muscle fibers just to stabilize this thing and move another human's body weight. The sheets, our cable machine / TRX. Sheets may not look like much, but when they are something that you always have access to, they can become one heck of a piece of equipment. It just takes a little bit of creativity. For us, the sheets were an excellent aid for doing chest press style exercises as well as flies to build the chest, because you can easily shift the amount of weight on the muscle by just simply taking a couple of steps forward or a couple of steps backward. So it makes for being able to really get the absolute maximum amount of stimulus out of the chest muscle as you possibly can, because you could take the exercise to complete and full failure. Plus, they were really great for just focusing on the specific chest muscle itself. You can really isolate and dial in with these guys. The slow buffers. Basically, strapping together two slow buffers was the closest thing we could get to doing actual barbell style benching. The weight was relatively stable, and it weighed in at roughly 200 to 230 pounds with the cords wrapped around it. And that is not taking into consideration adding bags, which just ups the ante when we would do that. So that would be pushing, maybe 260, almost maybe 300 pounds, which is seriously good weight. The only real problem with the slow buffers was just getting access to them and being able to just wrap them up, rig them up, set them up. You have to dodge the guards with it, all that kind of stuff. That was really the only real problem with them. Otherwise, they were a great stable weight, and we probably would have used them a whole lot more, but that was an issue. Hands down, though, they were one of the best things we had access to when it came to getting a solid weight. The big lesson. We created weighted pressing movements out of bags, humans, sheets, and slow buffers. We didn't wait for perfect equipment. We used what we had access to, and we used what was in our environment. That's really the biggest lesson. Keep it simple. Anything that you can find for weight, use that. Intensity techniques / volume maximization techniques. All right, this is where the chest actually gets built. The push-up variations teach the movement. The weighted work adds even more strength. But the intensity techniques, that is what really pushes the muscle to the next level and makes it grow. Essentially, these are the techniques that you use with the base knowledge of all of the techniques and all of the methods that you've learned up till this point. You blend them all together for this. It is where things like giant sets, pyramid sets, drop sets, and all those variations like triple drops, single drops, double drops, and ladders and prison partials all come into play. For instance, the giant sets. They are 3 different exercises that all hit the chest back to back to back to back with no rest in between. These are killer because you can also do them as a mechanical drop set, where the first exercise you do is the most difficult version of the exercise, and then you move on from there to the next most difficult, and then the least most difficult. That way, you are able to totally tax the muscle within one giant set because you are able to keep the reps up because of the mechanical advantage of the next movement as you progress through the entire set, allowing for more overall accumulated work in that one set and more overall time under tension. Now, you will notice that there is an overall theme when it comes to the intensity sets and techniques. Now, for the pyramid sets, they involved performing a sequence of exercises, such as push-ups and dips, for, let's say, 5, 10, 15, 10, and then 5 repetitions. It is similar to how a pyramid rises on one side and descends on the other side. So you're going up one side, climbing to the top of that peak, and then down the other side, getting easier and easier and easier. Pyramids, very nice. Now, if you've been following the channel, you already know about this. You know about Big John, his whole total, just every rep was prison partial reps, time under tension. You know about all that. For you guys who are new though, here's the quick short version. Partial reps allow you to keep tension on the muscle and to prolong your sets to a full maximal failure. They are basically like the ultimate cheat reps because they allow you to go way past what you could regularly do. The great thing is that you could use them with body weight exercises as well as with weighted variations of the chest exercises also. You could do them in the top half of the range or the middle portion of the range or the bottom portion of the range. You can also just use them as a finisher in order to get the most out of a set, where you do full range of motion for as many as you can get, and then as soon as you can't do that full range of motion anymore, you switch over to a partial range of motion and just blast that thing until you cannot push another rep, period. Now for the ladders. You can do either a ascending ladder or a descending ladder. Essentially what a ladder is either doing exercises starting at 1 rep and then moving up methodically, rep by rep, to a given set number, or starting at the highest number and then doing a methodical decline rep by rep all the way down to 0. So for instance, 10 dips and 10 push-ups, followed by 9 dips and 9 push-ups, then 8 dips and 8 push-ups, and so on, all the way down to 0. Or you start at 1 and you work your way up like that to whatever. Now for the drop sets, we were usually doing mechanical drop sets. However, we would also still employ your standard style of drop set, which is something like feet elevated push-ups down to feet flat off the floor push-ups, all the way down to kneels on the floor push-ups, for instance. Again, these are a way to maximize time under tension on the chest muscle and take it to full failure. So each one of those, the key is doing as many reps as you can get of those feet elevated push-ups. And then when you can't do another one of those, you go straight to the floor and get as many of those as you can get. And then you drop down to the knees and hit those until you just cannot hit another one. The wrap-up, free world application. All right, so let's bring this thing home. The 3 ways we would build chest in prison are: number 1, push-up variations. We used variations that hit every angle of the chest, built unilateral strength, trained stability, and can be progressed indefinitely. You don't need a single piece of equipment to build a strong chest using these tools. Number 2, weighted press variations. Bags, buffers, sheets, and humans. We found load wherever we could find it, and that load, applied consistently, applied intelligently, built real pressing strength and real muscle. Number 3, intensity techniques / volume maximization techniques. Prison partials, ladders, pyramids, giant sets, drop sets. These are the kinds of methods that push the chest past failure, built conditioning, and created the kind of volume that forces the body to adapt and grow. Now here's the big lesson. You do not need perfect equipment to build a strong chest. You need intensity, you need creativity, and you need consistency. Because if we could build chest muscles in a prison cell with water bags, stick, and a concrete floor, then you at home could absolutely, positively build a strong chest. You just got to put in the work. And the work is really what it always been about. You got to put in that work. That and that attitude of by any means necessary will build you what you want. And if you would like, you could hit the link right here and it will take you into the brutal mindset behind prison workouts. And with that said, peace, love, joy, prosperity, and all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one.